Okay, here we go. So, hello, and welcome to Happy Hour, everyone. Glad you're here. Glad we are practicing together at this time, coming together with our intentions, with our goodness to cultivate and support ourselves, support each other. So, the theme for this evening is self judgment, self discernment, and self compassion. So self judgment, you're probably, well, we're all familiar with self judgment. Oh, darn it, I didn't do this right. Oh, I'm no good. I'm bad. I'm terrible. Hurling various insights at ourselves when we make a mistake or we don't perform or we forget something or we don't get something done, hurling insults, you're lazy, you're no good. Oh, well, your flavor, fill in your own versions of self-judgment. Now, self-discernment is different. Self-discernment with self-compassion. So self-discernment is when there is self-compassion. Actually, let me bring in self-compassion. Self-compassion is the best antidote, is the best way to meet self-judgment, because we often have this wrong perspective that if we self-flagellate and if we abuse ourselves, we're going to whip ourselves into shape, and yes, we're going to actually perform better and do things. And it's not true. And there's research actually supporting that, psychological research, that people who are more self-compassionate, in fact, they take more responsibility instead of blaming themselves or blaming others. Actually, they take responsibility, and the instead of having shame, they have remorse. So let me actually say a little bit about that. So shame is not helpful. Shame is when you feel ashamed, really small, this feeling of a sense of feeling small and inadequate. It makes you even smaller and more inadequate for taking responsibility, for doing what's right, either for yourself or for the benefit of others. However, what is helpful is remorse. Remorse is skillful. Remorse is helpful to reflect, to have discernment about something that went wrong, and to intend to correct it for your own benefit, for the benefit of others. So there's a sense of uprightness, clarity, and a sense of kindness towards yourself and others that self-judgment doesn't have. Self-judgment is very painful. It's as if you're taking a dagger and hurting yourself, throwing perfectly good moments after the moments that are already gone. Whereas with self compassion, when there is a sense of self compassion, self care, self kindness, one has, and this is really important, I want to make this very clear. When there is enough kindness for oneself in the psyche, one can take responsibility and say, oh, sweetheart, yeah, okay, that was not good. Okay, all right, you messed up, and I still love you. You're not bad. We'll do better. Instead of the comparison, if there is no self compassion, it's like, oh, you screwed up. You're terrible. You're awful. You're not worth living. You're not worth. You're like, ouch, ouch, ouch. One gets smaller and smaller and smaller. Again, I'm exaggerating, but sometimes the way we speak to ourselves is not that different. Whereas again, the scenario with self compassion, one has the capacity, and this is what research has been done about, that folks were invited to remember some indiscretion, something that they regretted having done. And then one group was asked to have a reflection of self kindness, and another group was I forget what the control group was, but it was definitely not a compassion or kindness. And the group that actually was primed with kindness and compassion, they took more responsibility for the action without shame, but actually responsibility. Like, yes, this was not appropriate, and they instead of pointing the blame, pointing the finger at others, which is the control group, which was not the compassion group, they pointed the fingers at others. Oh, it was their fault. It was their fault. I didn't, I was okay. Whereas when there's kindness, you can actually take responsibility for what you've done wrong because it doesn't hurt. It's like, okay, it's all right. It's okay. I'm still okay. I'm still worthy of love and care and compassion. Separating the self-worth from the behavior, separating those two. And that's where the discernment comes in. The self-discernment becomes available when we have self-compassion. So self-compassion makes self-discernment with mistakes available to do better with remorse. Whereas self-judgment just brings out shame and it's just a spiral downhill. So I have said plenty. And what I'll invite you in a minute is we'll just explore. We'll just explore these self-judgment, self-discernment, self-compassion, just how they feel in the body. These are not ideas. I mean, well, there are concepts, but really we need to feel them. We need to feel them in the body. Embodiment, embodiment, embodiment. So when all else fails, embodiment. So let's begin. Let's begin. So landing in our seats, arriving here in this moment. In this body, releasing any tightness or tension in the body. Releasing thoughts, releasing preoccupations. Taking refuge here, right now, in this moment. Refuge in the goodness of your heart, your good intentions, your kindness, your aspiration for cultivating peace and goodness that has brought you here. Feeling the bottom of your feet, kissing the earth. Earth on earth. Your sit bones contacting the cushion, the chair, in lieu of the earth. Earth on earth. Embracing. Releasing your weight, releasing the weight of this body onto the earth. allowing the breath, sensations of the breath, felt, sensed in the abdomen, the lower part of the body, helping to settle the mind, settle the heart. Let awareness hold, meet the entirety of the breath, entirety of the in-breath, entirety of the out-breath. And if thoughts arise, not a problem. Smilingly release. Thank you, thought. Please come back later. Giving my heart to this practice right now. And let there be ease. Let there be a sense of connecting, enjoying the breath as it breathes you. Not making breathing into a project. Let yourself be breathed. And every time you notice awareness is resting on a thought and you're lost in thought, it's okay. If there is self-judgment, here you go again. Let there be compassion. This is what happens to everyone. It's okay. Release, release, smilingly with an easy, light heart. Release, holding yourself with kindness with the breath. This is what minds do. This thinking, it's okay. It's a part of this practice. Release and reconnect. Release and reconnect with the breath and the body, enjoying, taking refuge for another few minutes of settling. feeling embodied, feeling the breath, sensing the breath, the entirety of the in-breath, the out-breath with ease. Calming, soothing, nourishing each breath. And now, if you like, I'd like to invite you to bring to mind perhaps something today or this week that you perhaps had some self-judgment about. Maybe not the most challenging or difficult event, but something relatively challenging. Not top one, but maybe 3 or 4 down the list. And bringing this event to mind. And perhaps as I invite you to do this, maybe some contraction arises in the body, in the heart-mind, manifested, showing up, felt in the sensations of the body. First, getting a clear description of what it was. Say, oh, you wasted time today. Oh, you had so much to do and you wasted time. Or you did this and it was unkind. Or whatever it might be. And now I'd like to invite you to put it down, release it for the purpose of this practice. Release, let it go. We'll come back to it in a minute. We just did this to get a sense of the contraction and what it feels like in the heart and mind. And now let us feel held, conjuring up your compassionate being, one who represents the paragon of compassion, kindness, complete acceptance for you. Could be someone in your life, maybe a parent, grandparent, or maybe it's the Buddha or Kuan Yin or any being that resembles, that signifies compassion, acceptance for you. It might even be your pet. It just looks at you lovingly, completely compassionately, kindly, acceptance. Maybe you see them as the deity of compassion, whoever, whatever fulfills this role, this compassionate being for you, conjure them up and let yourself be held in their kindness, in their compassion, their acceptance. They know you completely. They know your past, your challenges, your good intentions, your trials and tribulations, your missteps, and they love you all the same. There's nothing you have to do to earn or deserve their acceptance. Just because you live, you are. This suffering, beautiful human being. You are held in love. Let yourself be held in this gaze of kindness. Completely held. Let yourself soak it up. Don't get in your own way. Just receive, relax your body like rays of sunshine. Let it come through, being held in kindness. Acceptance. Just as you are. And now, as you soak in their kindness, maybe even physically let yourself be held. If it feels appropriate, maybe you're sitting on the lap of the Buddha. There, here. It's okay. It's okay. Let your heart be open. Stay open to receiving kindness, soothing healing, acceptance. Just as you are. And now, bringing up this misstep, this challenge you had earlier today, this week, what you were judging yourself for earlier. The space of compassion. Come, bring it up. Bring it up and share it. Put it on the lap of this compassionate being in your mind's eye. Let them hold it with you. And from their compassionate perspective, pay attention, listen to what comes up and helping you, supporting you with it. Maybe the compassionate being reminds you of some difficulty that you've had, which has led to this. Maybe they remind you that you are doing your best. If you could have done better in this circumstance, you would have. To be kind and gentle with yourself. Maybe through their love and care, they support you to feel not shame, but remorse. Wish it had been different, but it couldn't be. How can it be different in the future? Accepting, loving, that it had to be the way it was, or it would have been different, given all the causes and conditions. It had to be exactly as it was, given what came before. Let there be discernment awakened in this field of compassion and care and acceptance, complete acceptance. Sense of uprightness, empowered compassion for yourself. Feeling yourself held the compassion, acceptance, love of the compassionate being, returning to that as the primary object in the awareness. Feeling held. It's okay. It's okay. You're doing your best. Coming back to the body, feeling the breath in the abdomen being breathed. Here, here. Offering our heart, offering our goodness to all beings everywhere, including ourselves. May we offer our best as much as possible, as much as we can, to ourselves and all beings everywhere. May all beings be free, including ourselves. Thank you all. Thank you for your practice. So, one phrase that was coming to my mind is one by Suzuki Roshi that says, "You are perfect as you are, and you could use a little improvement." It's just the wisdom of acceptance and practice and doing our best. So perfect as you are, and you could use a little improvement. So you're welcome to. You're invited to share, if you like, what discoveries, aha moments perhaps came up for you in your practice. Maybe challenges for the benefit of yourself and benefit of others, to share them. Practice report from the field. It's always helpful for others. And you can type them to me individually, privately, in which case I'll read the reflection, not your name. And if it's typed to everyone, I will read your name also, or you can raise your Zoom hand. Your physical hand, I will likely not see. Thank you for the beautiful sitting. You are very welcome, says one of you. Any reflections you like to share? What was it like? What was it? Did it feel different when you brought up this shortcoming and alone the field of self-judgment, and then later in the field of self-compassion? Is there something that shifted? Were there awarenesses, observations, or empowerments? Oh, that came up. Linda, please.
I'm nervous about doing this, so I'll try and give myself self-compassion. I had a really hard time imagining anybody who could give me that, who could wrap their arms around. I mean, and I didn't ever get that as a kid, but but so that's my causes and conditions. But I could imagine my dogs looking at me with those loving eyes.
Yeah.
And I also could imagine myself
Great.
doing it. But I just kept going back to certain people that I thought should be doing that for me. And it wasn't there. So that was my difficulty.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for sharing that, Linda. And to appreciate you bringing it up. And what I'd say actually, I don't hear that as a difficulty. Let me tell you why. The difficulty, perhaps there was difficulty in trying to get it from places that's like, yeah, not quite. Yeah, like you should be doing. Yeah, so that doesn't work. And yet, what I'm hearing in the beauty of what you shared is that, yes, it was available to you. There's from yourself. Good heavens, that is gorgeous, because I usually actually bring in the compassionate being, the Buddha, Kuan Yin, or being of light, or because often folks have difficulty giving it to themselves. So hallelujah. Yeah, this is great. And of course you had your dog supporting you there too. The compassionate beings that they are. It's always fun to make them into a deity of compassion. Your dog looking at you here, like, sitting I don't know, cross-legged. So yay.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Reflections coming through chat. Um, yeah. Yes. Allowing opt out. Sure. Wanted to show my source of compassion. Wanted to show my source of compassion. Not sure what that means, Claire. Um, Steve says combining self compassion with the practice of seeing sleepiness, distraction, or whatever it is as awesome as in Monday's discussion is very helpful. Great, great. Thank you, Steve. Wonderful. Yeah, great. One more reflection privately. It's pretty incredible how it actually feels in the body, the reactivity and pain of the experience, and then the warmth and comfort and okayness when compassion was present. We don't always need the answers or for the painful experiences to go away, sometimes holding and accepting and loving just as is enough. Beautifully said. Beautifully said. I couldn't have said it better. Thank you. Exactly. Noticing the difference and doesn't have to go away. Compassion can hold it all. Beautiful. Yeah, great. So I'd like to invite us at this point, if you wish, to turn into practicing with compassion in small groups, um, and the invitation in the small groups is to only speak from your own experience, and you can also be silent in the small group. You can, when your turn comes, you can say pass. You can hold compassionate silence for others. Just, it's perfectly okay being fully present. It's a way that you're offering support to others and to yourself. So, speaking from your own experience alone, not managing, not reflecting on other people's experience. And you're welcome to share one nugget, one brief nugget. Then the next person will share a nugget, perhaps, or say pass. The third person will come back to you. And we go round and round. And please, this is a sacred space. It's not just go talk amongst yourselves. Imagine that you are the compassionate being for these other two human beings. And they are the compassionate being for you, giving and receiving, and not an overbearing overbearing way, but maybe it's just silent. So, so this is the invitation for this evening. Um, and I will create the rooms in a moment. And maybe, let's see, anything else I want to add before we start the groups? Yeah, maybe we'll go reverse alphabetical order, or just for the fun of it. And yeah, I think that's it. And stay embodied. Stay in your bodies. Stay in your bodies. Don't get heady. I think it's important not to get heady. So stay embodied. Stay embodied. Don't get heady. So, all right, I'm going to open the rooms and one more minute. Okay, here we go. Okay, welcome back, everyone. All the rooms are closed, and we have just about a couple of minutes. If any insights, reflections have come up that you'd like to share for the benefit of yourself and others. Again, you're welcome to raise your Zoom hand or you can type in chat. Or maybe what came up, any insights that came up from practice in small groups. Quiet bunch tonight, which is perfectly fine. Dave.
Hi, Nikki, thanks. That was a great practice and great class. I think you structured it really well. I can see clearly that self-judgment is what I do when I compare myself to others, my college classmates, and how how well they're doing and how poorly I'm doing, and and I can also see how uh, beating myself up is a way of feeling good about I'm right about being wrong, and I feel. And that's a strange dynamic. And I can tell that self-discernment is when I see with compassion, I see because of the way things happened in my past, the causes and conditions. Yeah, so that's of course the way it went that way. So that really worked well for me. Thank you very much.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Dave. Thank you for sharing that. Beautiful. Great. Steve, please.
It was very nice to ended up in a group where the other two people were not only knew each other, but were related. So seemed to me quite synchronistic and amazing, but they said it had actually happened once before as well. So that's pretty nice.
Nice. Nice. The pleasure of being in groups and when people are related, unrelated, we're all human beings, we're all related, and maybe actually closer relations and ties. Beautiful. The joy of Sangha. And Vicky, you get the last word and it's to be quick. Here we go.
Yes, I just wanted to tell Fred and Steve, thank you. I hit the wrong button too quick and I left in the middle, and you both were really good partners there.
Sweet. There's an appreciation for one small group. Yay. Thanks, Vicky. That's sweet. So with that, I thank you all. Thank you for your practice. Thank you for supporting each other, yourselves, all beings whom you come in contact with through this practice. May we all wake up. May we all serve well. May all beings be awake. Thanks all. Be well.